Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. This is regarding Antonio Valencia at Manchester United. As I've updated you guys on a couple of occasions, reportedly now Antonio Valencia is set to depart Manchester United this upcoming January because he feels as though he has lost the trust. He has lost the trust of winning under Jose Mourinho, and reportedly he is eyeing a move away from Manchester United in the January transfer window. Reportedly West Ham have been interested, who of course spent 90 odd million pound on 10 additional players during the course of the summer, and reportedly a few Spanish teams have been interested in him as well. Obviously now he's under favour under Jose Mourinho. He's not going to be a regular star, and we know he's 33 years old now. He's been at the club since 2009, and reportedly him and Jose Mourinho had disputes, back in the Valencia game at Old Trafford earlier on in the group stages in the Champions League. They had a dispute, did Valencia and Jose Mourinho. And Jose Mourinho is known for having disputes, with the players, especially the players, of course. So reportedly, Valencia is set to make a move from Manchester United in January, but reportedly he's not happy, and reportedly his current representative has been discussing about Antonio Valencia's future at the club, and reportedly he's set to move in the January transfer window is Antonio Valencia as well. Reportedly it did say it it did say that Man United were in talks of securing him another one-year deal at the club, but reportedly it looks likely that he's set to leave now in the January transfer window. The player, who's won quite a few individual awards here, he's won a lot of trophies here. He's won everything here, of course, apart from the Champions League. As Antonio Valencia was great in his young days. Antonio Valencia, great player. Obviously not our most essential right back anymore. Not preferred choice because Mourinho mainly puts Ashley Young now at that right back position, who's also 33, as we all know. But he's been here since 2009. Valencia has made over 3 century appearances in the Premier League for the club as Valencia, and his performances over the years have been very, very good. We got him from Wigan in 2009. He's also been at Villarreal in the past. He's also, won some Apples Player of the Year. He's won also Manchester United's Players Player of the Year as well, and got voted in the PFA team of the year as well back in his debut season. Was it in 2009 and 2010 as well? But reportedly, I think Valencia is on the move. Is on his way out of Manchester United, so that's another potential player that Manchester United could lose in the January transfer window. And reportedly, Pellegrini and West Ham, have reportedly been interested in taking the London Stadium. They were actually keen on getting him on a free transfer next summer, but reportedly he could leave in January, could Valencia, because I think Valencia wants to depart Manchester United. He knows he's not going to be regular now, and he knows he's not going to get Jose Mourinho's trust now, does Antonio Valencia, so he could be set to depart in the January transfer window as well. He's amongst other players as well that could leave. You've got Eric Bailly that could leave. You've got Rojo that could leave as well. Bailly is linked with a move to Arsenal, as we all know. The ex-Espanyol. The ex-Espanyol, the ex-Villarreal player as well. He's been at United since 2016. We paid around £30 million for him. Great potential, but hasn't been a regular this season under Jose Mourinho at Manchester United. So potentially he could be on his way out as well in January, because he's our favourite United. He has great potential, but reportedly Arsenal linked with a move for Eric Bailly, and Rojo could also go as well. As I said, Mourinho's looking to sanction a couple of defenders off to invest some money to get a strong central defender or two in that back line. As I said, but Rojo could go. Maybe even Darmian could go. There's a few Italian teams interested in him, but we know we've got a lot of problems defensively. We've got a lot of injuries, as we all currently know. Mourinho's also confirmed that Paul Pogba will be missing Liverpool. This is from his perspective. Paul Pogba will be missing Liverpool. He also said Valencia will be missing Liverpool, and he also said Phil Jones will be missing Liverpool. But Mourinho did confirm that Rashford will start Liverpool, Lingard will start Liverpool, and Rashford will start Liverpool, Lingard will start Liverpool, and Ashley Young will start Liverpool. They are 3 starters that Mourinho's confirmed. Obviously, De Gea and Matic will be back into the team as well. But as I said, Mourinho had a lot to say in his press conference. As I said, he basically said that he got questioned about, how much money Liverpool spent on the team, during the course of last season and last summer and that, and potentially using. He said, well, if he says it's not all about money. He says if you get a house, you don't just buy the furniture. He says you've got to do work in it and all that. He's aware that Liverpool are the leaders. He says they're on a high, but he says he doesn't know what players. He says he doesn't know what players are available, but he did say Man United will fight for victory in the game. But he did say Man United have still got good quality and good potential. Did Jose Mourinho. So hopefully he doesn't go in that game, parking the bus, playing defensively as we do not hope, because in the last two visits to Anfield he has parked the bus, as we all know. Rashford, basically, who scored twice against Liverpool in the fixture last season. He classed Jose Mourinho as a winner, and Rashford did say, he wants to win in that game. Jose Mourinho has also said Man United are far from being built in my image. Mourinho also said that as well. But Klopp, as Jurgen Klopp said, he's never ever lacked Jose Mourinho's ambition, as we all currently know. But it's going to be a great game tomorrow. I have no confidence that we're going to win, because I think Liverpool are going to have too much. We've got a lot of injury concerns. They've got Chamberlain out for the season. They've got Joe Matip out with an injury as well. Trent Alexander-Arnold has reportedly got a foot injury as well for Liverpool. I don't know if he's going to be fully fit for Liverpool tomorrow, but it's confirmed. We've got Darmian out. We've got Lindelof out as well through injury till later on this month. Darmian's out, Lindelof's out. Darmian's out, Lindelof's out. Martial, he could be a doubt, because he's missed the last two previous games. Who else is injured? We've got a few more injuries. Sanchez is obviously injured until January. Darmian's injured. Mourinho's confirmed Valencia's not playing. Doyle's injured, as we all know. So Chris Smalling's injured. So we have got a hell of a lot of injuries. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how Jose Mourinho lines up in the game. He obviously made 8 changes midweek against Valencia, but we haven't lost to Liverpool in our last. They haven't beat us in 8 Premier League games. Liverpool, obviously, a long time back. We went 5 years without winning at Anfield because we won against them in 2007. Then we went 5 years without beating Liverpool, of course, and. Potential Liverpool have not beat us in the Premier League, since 2014 at Old Trafford when they had Brendan Rodgers and we had David Moyes at the time. So we do potentially, have a good record against them. We beat them 4 times under Louis van Gaal in the Premier League on the trot, as we all know. And this is going to be the 201st meeting between Manchester United and Liverpool. Of course, Man United are looking for back-to-back victories against Liverpool since, January 2016 as well. But Klopp's a good manager, he's emulated the football he did with Borussia Dortmund, and he's done it with Liverpool. Liverpool have lost a lot of good players over the years. They lost Luis Suarez, they lost Mascherano, they lost Coutinho. But, this is a total different Liverpool side now. And Klopp spent 170 million last summer, and they have got a great squad. They've got, a great attacking trio of Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane and Firmino. Salah, who's just reportedly won the BBC African Football of the Year award, so he's just been nominated for that as well as Mohamed Salah. But I think Liverpool are going to win. I think they've got too much quality in the team this season. The 16 they haven't lost yet in the league. 16 games undefeated in the Premier League, and I think they're going to win the game. But you never know in football because this is a big fixture. The 2 most successful clubs historically in English football. As we all currently know, so you never know. Manchester United could be up for this game, as we've got to go there with the right attitude. Mourinho's got to go with the attacking approach, as I said. Mourinho's got to go with the attacking approach, as I said, and then we may have a chance. We can't just sit there parking the bus and playing defensively against Liverpool, as we have done in the last couple of visits, as Mourinho did earlier on in the season against Manchester City. Well, so essentially, 4 o'clock tomorrow. Sky Sports are streaming the game as well. But it would be good to see us, give Liverpool their first defeat tomorrow. It would be really good to see. But you never know. But don't totally doubt us. But you never know. I think top four's gone for my man for me. Top four's gone for me. We're 8 points from top four. We're 16 behind top. So for me, I think top four has gone. I think we're going to be in the Europa League next season. I think top four's gone. I think it really, really has gone, which is disappointing. And Mourinho was discussing that he wanted top four by the end of the year, and it's looking likely now we're not going to get that top four by the end of the year, of course. And recently in the Premier League, against Fulham and Arsenal, the performances have improved. We've played better. We've played well as a team, a bit better. So we've got to try and somehow reflect on them performances that we did against Fulham and Arsenal and bring it into the Liverpool game. If we play like we did on Wednesday night against Valencia, we will get humiliated and spanked, potentially. But yeah, because I just think we'll get spanked, as I said. But yeah, he's confirmed some starters. He's confirmed players that won't be starting as well, because he's basically said he wasn't surprised by the Valencia result, Mourinho. He said he wanted Pogba to impress, and Pogba didn't impress. And according to one of the media reports, that he's dropping Paul Pogba for this game, as Mourinho has done recently in the Premier League. I don't think he started from the start in the Premier League since Southampton, as Paul Pogba as well. But Mourinho, it's not long now till January. Reportedly, he's going to get hundreds of millions of pounds to spend in the January transfer window. Would I trust Jose Mourinho with his money? No. He's had discussions with Ed Woodward about potentially January transfer window, and George Mendes, his current representative. And reportedly, they've come to an agreement. Mourinho's got a lot of potential targets on his agenda. We know there's been rumours of him potentially leaving Manchester United at the end of the season. As I said, obviously, if Mourinho does get sacked, he will get a payoff, obviously, because he's under contract here, I think, until 2020. But, we have spent a lot of money. Mourinho spent over £400 million here. As I said, the players that he got in, the 11 players that he has bought, the majority of them haven't made an impact. You've got Romelu Lukaku. As Jose Mourinho has had discussions with him about potential poor form this season. Lukaku hasn't improved this season. He's been very, very poor this season. He's well Premier League proven. His first touch does concern me, Romelu Lukaku's, and he's a big game bottle, is Romelu Lukaku. So will Jose Mourinho actually start Lukaku on Sunday? I don't think he will start Lukaku on Sunday, because his form has been really poor this season. Hasn't really scored enough goals this season, Romelu Lukaku, but he's failed to replicate the form that he did in his first season with United when he was on fire. He scored 27 goals in his first season. He's done well in the Premier League in the past as well, when he was at Everton and stuff like that. Of course, scored 46 goals for Belgium as well. So potentially we do need a prolific striker. We do need a backup option, as I said. But I said the best players for Man United this season is Rashford. Martial, when he was fully fit earlier on in the season, he was on great form. And potentially De Gea. They are the best three players this season for Manchester United. So it's obviously the players that Mourinho already had when he got appointed Man United manager. There seems to be the three players, Rashford, Martial and De Gea, that seem to be playing well this season. Pogba's struggling this season for consistency. He hasn't been playing well, as I said. He was good in Turin for 4 or 5 years with Juventus, was Paul Pogba. But he hasn't proven himself in English football. He does have the odd good game here and there, does Paul Pogba. But he hasn't proven himself at United, Paul Pogba. He risen up the ranks with Lee Harvey. He actually began his professional career with Man United, when he was under Fergie. Fergie let him go. Ferguson let him go because he wasn't getting enough first team football, Paul Pogba. So they went to have 4 or 5 good years at Juventus. There has been rumours about Juventus potentially making a return for him in January of putting a bid in of around 72 million. Obviously, we paid £89 million for him, the 4th most expensive player in the world. But when he's on form, he's like 2 players in one in that midfield. He's Paul Pogba. But yeah, he has struggled form and consistency, with Manchester United. As I said, he does have the odd good game here and there, but there's been reports about him going back to Juventus. He's had bad disputes with Jose Mourinho, as we all currently know. Mourinho's criticised him. Pogba's criticised his current tactics, as I said. So he could potentially leave as well, could Paul Pogba. Mourinho has been criticising the players. He has been blaming the players, but majority of the blame, after Southampton especially, he blamed it all on Paul Pogba. But you can't just blame one player because it's the majority of the team that Mourinho's got in. Matic is struggling. I think Matic has been poor this season. I said I had concerns about him when he came. I thought at the time when when Mourinho first came in, I thought the brilliance of Mourinho, will get Matic, back to being consistent and a very, very good player. But I don't rate Matic at all. We haven't been aggressive enough in these transfer windows because we haven't been getting his priority targets that we want. Of course, Mourinho was frustrated that he missed out on the central defender last summer. He only got 3 players in, and he's frustrated with a lack of transfer activity. Jose Mourinho, he's potentially, admitted this as Mourinho, of course. And you've got Matic who's struggling, static, no tempo to his play. I think Herrera's done okay this season, when he has been playing. I think Herrera's done very, very well for us. When Mata's been playing, which hasn't been often from the start this season because he hasn't been a regular starter, he's done very, very well. I've always liked Mata, since we got him since 2014, Juan Mata. If I'm going to be quite honest with you, I've always liked him. I've always liked Juan Mata. But yeah, I think the board and the owners need to think about recommending the right man for the job to replace Jose Mourinho, as I said, because I don't think he has the winning mentality at this club. I don't think he can command us in that position. His objective was to get Manchester United competing and basically challenging for major honours, which Jose Mourinho has failed to do. Obviously, there's still people out there backing him, considering his history. To be fair to Mourinho, he's had a very, very good pedigree. He's done very, very well in his history. He's won titles everywhere he's been, but I just don't think he's the right man for Manchester United. I think we need to recommend a new manager to come in, to suss out the problems in the team, to suss out what players are right for the team to keep and what players aren't right, and, to get rid of. And, but yeah, expect a new manager to come in. You can't just expect him to be absolutely fantastic in his first season. You've got to give him time to build a platform and build a team. And potentially, I know Sarri's done it with Chelsea. This is his first season with Chelsea. I know Emery's done it with Arsenal. This is his first season with Arsenal. But and them two have done really, really well, to be quite fair. But Mourinho spent a lot of money. The performances aren't good enough, as I said. There's players out on that pitch that are underperforming, as I currently know. Mourinho said quite a few weeks ago he wasn't too convinced we're going to get any major signings in the January transfer window as well. But as I said, he has had discussions with Ed Woodward as Jose Mourinho about the January transfer window. Reportedly, they've come to an agreement. George Mendes was in the meeting as well. Reportedly, his main priority target is Napoli's Koulibaly. Toby Alderweireld getting mentioned in the press as well. So Koulibaly, very, very good player. He adapts every area of his game fantastically well, does Napoli's Koulibaly. He's strong, he's quick, he's very, very good in the air. But Napoli are demanding, they want around at least 90 million to 100 million pounds for the player, which would potentially make him the most expensive defender in the world. The most expensive defender at the moment is Liverpool's 75 million Virgil van Dijk. I'd love Koulibaly at the club. He's 27 years old? He's 28 years old. He's under contract with Napoli to 2023. Man United have reportedly had 2 bids recently turned down for the player. Man United, Ed Woodward has reportedly been in discussions with the Napoli officials about Manchester United making a potential move in January because we haven't really made any major signings. We haven't been getting his priority targets, especially under Mourinho. I think the last major signing we made was potentially Juan Mata back in 2014 because he was a great major signing. But since then, we've got players in, but we haven't been getting his number one choice targets. We haven't been getting his priority targets. And we've been getting his his second, third choice, targets instead of getting his top targets. As I said, but Koulibaly would be classified as a great major signing for us if he came. I think he'd do very, very well in the Premier League. I think he'd dramatically improve us defensively as well. And he's an ex-Genk Mets player. He's been at Napoli since 2014 and he's highly experienced with Napoli now. He's Koulibaly. He's made his international senior debut in 2015. So he's made around 29 appearances for Senegal as Koulibaly. But reportedly, they only paid £7 million for him, did Napoli. from Cenk, as I said. But reportedly, Manchester United are heavily linked with him, and I think he would improve us, dramatically, because we've got Chuanzebe and and who's the other one called? Oh, Chuanzebe and Fosamenta, of course, are out on loan. Phil Jones may not be here next season. Chris Smalling may not be here next season. Plus, he's injured. Marcus Rojas, I forgot to mention, is injured as well. He Mourinho wants to get rid of him reportedly. So Lindelof's injured as well. So and Bailey's out of favour. So potentially, I think Koulibaly would fit the Manchester United agenda fantastically well if you put him alongside Bailly or Lindelof. But as I said, Bailly could leave Manchester United because he's out of favour at Manchester United. As I said, as we all know. But as I said, Koulibaly would be fantastic. You've got the news about Toby Alderweireld as well. Reportedly, he's like to tweet from Manchester United supporters saying that encouraging Manchester United to go on and sign the player in the January transfer window. Toby Alderweireld has said he has reservations about him. He hasn't signed a new deal with Tottenham Hotspur, Toby Alderweireld. He is well Premier League proven. He has been on Manchester United's agenda. Mourinho discussed of how reluctant Tottenham are to sanction the best players off, of course. But Man United were reportedly in talks during the course of last summer with Tottenham Hotspur about Man United securing the signing of Tony Alderweireld. Obviously, Tottenham were demanding they wanted around £60 million. Man United were reluctant to pay that. We know he's available for £25 million next summer, but Man United could get a deal over the line for about £40 million for him in January. Tottenham wouldn't want to sanction him off, but obviously, £40 million a tempting offer. Same with Koulibaly. Napoli are not in no desperate need financially, and they know he's an essential player for Napoli. But if Man United are willing to pay the recommended fee, what Napoli are demanding, which is now around £90 million sterling, United are willing to pay it. I think Napoli would will to do business, but according to the Napoli president, he's not willing to do any business about this as well for Koulibaly, but great player Koulibaly. But Toby Alderweireld can be a world-class central defender as well. I think he's played 14 games this season. Do you think he'd come to Manchester United? Toby Alderweireld is obviously an ex-Ajax player where he's up the ranks. Won 3 titles with them, obviously an ex-Atletico Madrid player, ex-Southampton. Now he's at Tottenham Hotspur. He's been at Tottenham Hotspur since 2015, so is this his 4th or 5th season now with Tottenham? Koulibaly, we have done, we've done deals with Tottenham in the past. We got Berbatov from Tottenham. He was really good, scored some good goals for United. Attacker, we've got Michael Carrick, from Tottenham. Now he's obviously one of the coaches. He was at the club for like 12 years. Won a lot of honours as well, did Michael Carrick. I thought he was a great player. It was a great partnership back in the day with Paul Scholes as well. So Tottenham have sold a lot of good players over the years, as he has said. But Toby Alderweireld, as I said, there's no sign of him signing a new deal. And reportedly he may be keen on making the move to Old Trafford. But reportedly there's still rumours going on about Manchester United signing Toby Alderweireld as well. And, we've got a lot of players coming to the end of the deals as well. We've got a catalogue of players coming to the end of the deals, and the board and the owners need to think about sorting that out as well. But people have questioned Jose Mourinho's tactics, his team selection, his style of play at the club, and his overall managerial style at the club. I don't think it suits his club, guys. I'm very sorry. But I think it's time to recommend a new manager to come in, to address the problems, to rebuild, try and build a platform. But somehow now, if we've got any hopes of top 4, we've got to try and go on a 7-8 game winning streak. And I can't see us doing that, the way we've been playing, for the majority of this season. I think it's time for this club, to change the club's personnel, and get Jose Mourinho out of this job as soon as possible, because I just don't think he's any good for Manchester United. And that's my perspective. He's only won 3 trophies since he's come to the club. He hasn't met the expectation levels. He's lowered the expectation levels. And, this team is not the team what Ferguson had. This team is not reflecting for what the team did under Fergie and what the team achieved under Fergie and what Ferguson achieved. I know there's still some of the players here from Alex Ferguson, and some of the players still here from the Alex Ferguson era. There's obviously 2 of the players that Moyes got instantly, and there's 6 of the players that Van Gaal got. Well, well, Van Gaal got 12, but 6 of them left, so there's still six players that Van Gaal, you know, got in as well. So I don't know, guys. I don't know, guys. You know, there has been potential, you know, talks about potentially you know, Pochettino coming to the club. As I said, you know, would Pochettino suit the Manchester United era? He's well Premier League proven because he's managed Tottenham. He's managing Tottenham. He's only spent £50 million since 2014. You know, he's managing Southampton. He used to manage Southampton as well. He used to manage Espanyol. You know, he's been managing nearly a decade. You know, he played 18 years in his playing career as well. He's got a 5-year deal with Tottenham, of course, as Mauricio Pochettino. Reportedly, Man United would have to pay £40 million for him at the end of the season if they did want to recommend Pochettino to come into the job. Yeah, he's a good manager, he's Pochettino. I think he'd have that winning mentality, and I think he would command Manchester United in that position if he came. I think he'd have more of an attacking approach than Jose Mourinho, and plus he's doing a very, very good job with Tottenham Hotspur. You know, reportedly he's happy with Tottenham. He's focusing on getting the top 4 with Tottenham. He's Mauricio Pochettino, but obviously it cost us less to sack Mourinho if we don't get top 4 by the end of the season. But obviously we're paying him off either way. But it'd cost us cheaper to sack him off at the end of the season if we failed top 4, and top 4 does look unlikely, as we all currently know. But there has been talks of Pochettino coming in. George Mendes had currently dispelled the myth, saying Mourinho's happy at the club are backing him, reportedly, and he's fully committed to the club. And reportedly Mourinho says he had nothing to do with the George Mendes statement that he quoted out. So Mourinho potentially wasn't taking an interest in what George Mendes said. So yeah, and and potentially another central defender that Manchester United have been linked with is Milan Skriniar, the Inter Milan centre-back. Of course, Inter Milan are under financial fair play regulations. I don't think they can officially buy players until next summer. I think they can agree to buy him in January, but I don't think they can officially buy him next summer. I think they're keen on sanctioning a few players off Inter Milan, you know, to invest some money into their club, you know, because they're under financial fair play regulations. Are Inter Milan, as we all know. But Milan Skriniar has attracted a few interest from a few teams. He's been on Manchester United's agenda as well. He is aged 23, so he is still in his prime. He's a player. He's supposed to be an okay player. He can play as central defender. He can play as a defensive midfielder as well. You know, Inter Milan, paid £20 million for him? £20 million for him from Sampdoria. I think he's still got 4 years left on his deal with Inter Milan. He's rated at about £75 million. But reportedly Manchester United have also been interested in him as well. And we got some good news that come out of the press yesterday. This was regarding David De Gea. Reportedly, he told his actual friends, David De Gea, that he's on the verge of signing a new deal because Man United have been in talks of trying to secure him a new deal at the club. He's currently stalled for a long time, so it has been a debate whether De Gea is going to stay. So reportedly now he has committed his future at United, and reportedly now he's on the verge of signing a new deal worth £400,000 a week at Man United, which is good news. Which does potentially make him the highest paid goalkeeper in the world, and obviously the highest paid. One of the highest paid players at the club, just behind Alexis Sanchez. I think it's £400,000 plus bonuses, involved as well in this. We know he was on the verge of joining Real Madrid in 2015, but he didn't. We know Juventus have been interested in him. We know Paris Saint-Germain have been interested in him. Paris Saint-Germain willing to offer him £60 million. Plus a 4-year deal. They're also under financial fair play as well. And plus £300,000 a week. But Mourinho did say David De Gea did want to stay. He said a long time back he wasn't confident he was going to sign a new deal. Did Jose Mourinho. And then he sort of changed his perspective, saying, I think David De Gea wants to stay. I think he will sign a new deal. Then it did say David De Gea was waiting for Man United to make a key decision. I think he basically at that moment in time wanted to know if Jose Mourinho was staying in charge of Man United. But now reportedly he's on the verge of signing a new deal with £400,000 a week. Great goalkeeper, best in the world. You know, we've had him here since 2011. He has won everything, of course, apart from the Champions League, as David De Gea. So he has experienced the good times. He's won Club's Player of the Year 4 out of 5 seasons. He's made over 2 century appearances for Man United in the league. Just nearly made 100 clean sheets now, all in the Premier League since he's joined Manchester United. David De Gea, but reportedly we did activate his clause until 2020. So we did activate his current contract. We put another 1 year extension on it to take him under contract until 2020. But it looks now likely that he's going to sign a new deal with £400,000 a week, according to the press. De Gea said he was happy in Manchester anywhere, was David De Gea. So potentially he looks set now to sign a new deal with the club, which is very good news. And I did update you on that news yesterday, guys, didn't I? Don't forget. And obviously George Mendes obviously shares the same agent with Mourinho. David De Gea, shares the same agent with Mourinho, because George Mendes represents De Gea, George Mendes represents Jose Mourinho as well. So it looks likely De Gea, reportedly of what I've seen, is going to sign this new deal, which is very good. So I don't think he will be leaving next summer if he signs this new deal, which is very good news indeed. We've got Mata, who's coming to the end of his deal. There's been no sign of him signing a new deal yet. Reportedly, it did say, Real Madrid were actually interested in signing Juan Mata. Reportedly, I think he would go back to Madrid if he got the opportunity, because he's highly experienced in Spain. He's well known for playing in Spain. He's Juan Mata. He's still a very good, consistent player. You can put him on the right, you can put him in the attacking midfield, but I think he operates himself fantastically well as an attacking midfielder. Juan Mata, he's obviously worked with Reina in the past, when he was at Valencia. Juan Mata, he's won everything in the Premier League. He's been in the Premier League about 8 years. He's won everything in the Premier League, of course, apart from the Premier League. He's never won the Premier League as Juan Mata since he's come to the Premier League in 2011. He's been in the Premier League now, is it now in total? 8 years, or something like that. He's won everything apart from the Premier League, of course. For Manchester United in the English top 5, he's got 50 goals and 50 assists, which is very good. And that was a great major signing. We paid, what was it, just under £40 million for him from Chelsea. So he was a great signing. He's coming to an end of his deal. There's no sign of him yet signing a new deal at Manchester United, as we all know. But Real Madrid have reportedly did say they were interested in him. Real Madrid have got actually a few potential targets on their radar, but it may be hard for, obviously they lost Ronaldo, Zinedine Zidane's no longer manager, so potentially it will be difficult for Real Madrid to get top signings. Reportedly, whilst they've got Santiago Solera as their current manager, because reportedly they may have to change the club's personnel. Reportedly to sign Eden Hazard as well, which has been another potential Real Madrid target as well. But as I said, we're in a market for we need another attacker. Because Sanchez hasn't delivered goods when he's been fully match fit. He has been here since the January transfer window, and he's been here nearly 12 months now. He has struggled for consistency. He hasn't been on form when he has been playing early on in the season, Sanchez. We know he's out till January. So could he potentially leave Manchester United as well, Alexis Sanchez? Lukaku isn't doing out, so we do need a prolific striker up there as well. We need a strong central defender. I think Koulibaly, would, fit the Manchester United agenda fantastically well. I think he really would. But it's not long now till the January transfer window opens. It's not long now, so we'll see what we can do in January, what players we can get in. But I said, regardless of who we get in, I don't want Jose Mourinho as our current manager. As I said. But yeah, the big breaking news is about Antonio Valencia. Reportedly, he's set to leave Man United because he knows now he's no longer going to win Jose Mourinho's trust. And he's set to leave in January because he represents he's been in discussions about his future and he looks likely to leave in January, according to the press. And I think from his own perspective, Valencia does want to leave Manchester United. You know, we've had a good 10 years, nearly a good 10 years or so out of him at this club. And I think he's delivered the goods fantastically well over the year. I think he's done fantastic over the years, you know, especially when he was younger, Antonio Valencia as well. But it's reportedly said West Ham are interested in him. A few Spanish teams are interested in him as well. Obviously, you know, he's an ex-Villarreal and Wigan player, as Antonio Valencia. But, you know, he's been great over the years for us. He's had injury problems this season, you know, with a mouth injury that he had earlier on in the season as well. So reportedly he could be set to leave in January. You know, Bay could leave, Rojo could leave. You know, Jones may not be here next season. Smalling may not be here next season. So we're going to have to think about, you know, strengthening our defensive lineup, you know, especially we need a strong centre back in there that can deliver the goods. And I think Koulibaly, you know, can do it. You know, I have a lot of trustworthy in him that he could come to Manchester United and improve us defensively. But yeah, we will see what happens. So there'll be more live videos coming up very, very later on. When more things update in the press. As I updated yesterday, I've been reading other transfer news, what's been going on. You know, I've been potentially reading bit of Man City's, bit of Arsenal's, bit of Chelsea's as well. You know that I've been reading a bit of Chelsea's transfer news as well, what's been going on with them. You know, as you updated you yesterday with the Avril Morata news, he suffered an injury. Did Avril Morata during Chelsea's game midweek in the Europa League? He suffered an injury. What I've just found out about. Could that be his last game for Chelsea? Reportedly, it did say he was no longer under Sarri's plans, and he was not guaranteed to get into the starting 11 often. Reportedly, but could this be his last game? Reportedly, Jordi Alba, current Barcelona fullback, has actually come out in the press, and he stemmed the narrative of welcoming him a move to Barcelona. Avril Morata. Reportedly, it did say Chelsea were keen on sanctioning him on loan in the January transfer window. You know, Avril Morata, as I said, he's a good number 9, good in the air, strong, quick, good finishing asset as well. You know, you can put him on the wing, you can put him up front, and it was great in the 2017-18 season. Chelsea paid, £60 million for him. But he hasn't really adapted himself that good this season, so he hasn't really replicated the form, you know, that he did last time out, Avril Morata. But obviously, Chelsea bought him, you know, to replace Diego Costa. You know, Chelsea were the biggest spenders during the course of last summer as well. But reportedly, Jordi Alba has reportedly welcomed Morata to Barcelona. Morata's obviously been in the Premier League just over a year. He's obviously had the experience of playing in Spain. You know, he had a 2-year spell, you know, with Juventus, and he has won quite a few honours as Avril Morata. I think he's better than Lukaku. Lukaku's more Premier League proven, but you know, Avril Morata is just potentially a better player, more tempo to his game, better finisher and everything. And I think he adapts every area of his game very, very good. I think he has very, very little weaknesses, Morata, when he's definitely fully on form. But yeah, there's reports that he could leave Chelsea, Avril Morata. So these reports that could happen as well, according to the press. So it could be his last game, reportedly. You know, you've got Eden Hazard at Chelsea as well, reportedly. You know, reportedly he said he loved Real Madrid. Chelsea have been in discussions of trying to sign him a new deal. He's got 18 and a half months left on his contract as Eden Hazard. But reportedly, Eden Hazard admitted that the contract talks have stopped. Eden Hazard also admitted that he loved Real Madrid. Real Madrid have been linked to him, but he said there could be Isco and Eden Hazard as a swap deal, reportedly, according to the Daily Star and the Express. But reportedly, it may be unlikely that Real Madrid will sign Eden Hazard unless they change their club's personnel, meaning, you know, get rid of Solari, currently Real Madrid's manager, reportedly, if Eden Hazard has got any chance of joining Real Madrid. But I think he's keen on the move to Real Madrid, because he did admit a while back he could leave Chelsea during the course of next summer. Eden Hazard, you know, you can put his attack in mid, you can put him out wide as well, Eden Hazard, and he's a great, great player, one of the best in the Premier League. He's up there with Salah, definitely. I think Salah is the best, you know, all in all. But Eden Hazard, good close ball control. You know, he's made over 2 century appearances for Chelsea. Good finisher, quick on the ball. As I said, he's Eden Hazard. So he's highly experienced in France as well. You know, he used to be at Lille. You know, he reasoned up the ranks fantastically, you know, well with Lille. risen up the ranks for 2 years in their youth academy. He's been playing senior football now since the age of 16, and look how he's grown and developed. He's an absolutely fantastic player. He's had that Hazard. He was good at Lille. He's there 8 years now. He's at Chelsea. He's been at Chelsea since 2012, so he's now well Premier League proven. And if Hazard does go, potentially Chelsea will have to, try and identify a replacement for him, as I currently said. But Real Madrid have been interested in getting him in next summer. But he did admit, the player, that Eden Hazard, that he would love the move to Real Madrid, and he loves Real Madrid, because he basically admitted this. Did Eden Hazard? Chelsea obviously, bought Kepa during the course of last summer. Atletico Bilbao keeper, they paid what, 71 million, 72 million. That was obviously to replace Courtois, that obviously departed Chelsea, as I said. So Xavi's still looking to strengthen up his team, as I said. Could Morata's career could be over with Chelsea, just after a short tenure, because he's only been there over a year, as I said. But yeah, so we will see what happens about that news as well. We will see what happens about the news. But as I said, there's games today going on. But as I said, the game is going to be a big game tomorrow for United. According to one of the reports, Mourinho's dropping Pogba, as he has done quite a few times in the league this season. He's dropping Valencia, and he's dropping Phil Jones as well. According to what it said, he's dropping them. Luke Shaw's now no longer injured, of what I've seen. So he could potentially put Luke Shaw at left back, because Luke Shaw's been obviously Manchester United's first choice left back, as we all know, this season, as we all currently know. So yeah, so we potentially do need to strengthen up defensively, as we all know. We could do with a defensive midfielder in there as well, and we need an attacker. But Koulibaly's good, because you can also put him as a full back. Toby Alderweireld's good, because his versatility is very, very good, because you can put him as a full back as well as a centre back. So I think Alderweireld and Koulibaly would be great, at centre back for us, because obviously Mourinho's looking to sanction Rojo off and Bailly off, because he's out of favour now at United, and Fosu-Mensah and Tuanzebe are on loan, and you got Smalling who's injured, Lindelof's injured. So potentially, I think Koulibaly would be fantastic. He'd be my number one target at this moment in time. He really, really would be, because he's one of the best central defenders in Europe. He's Koulibaly. He's highly experienced in Italy. And he's never played in the Premier League, and it would be good to see him, experience the Premier League. Koulibaly's done very, very well for Napoli in the Champions League as well. So I give him all my credit for that as well. But as I said, there's rumours been going on about Pochettino coming. As I said, I think he would be very, very good to replace Mourinho. I think Zinedine Zidane would be very, very good to replace Mourinho. But obviously, you can't expect them to be brilliant, when they first come to the club, because they've got to address the problems out. They've got to rebuild, build some kind of platform, create a platform and build that platform. But as I said, Mourinho for me just isn't the right man at United, and he doesn't know his potential best 11. Would you say if we had Pep Guardiola now as our manager, do you think the team would be up there competing? Well, you could say yeah, maybe, because Pep Guardiola goes with a more attacking approach. His team tactics and his team selection are correct, and he knows his best 11. Does Guardiola, as I said, and he spent a lot of money. You've got Umar at Arsenal. I think he still needs a couple of transfer windows to bolster up more, because they've got a couple of players that are guaranteed to leave. They have got good players, Arsenal, as I said, and looking very, very good this season. 22 games undefeated now, and they look so much better team now under Umar than they did under Arsene Wenger, especially in the last stages of his managerial career, Arsene Wenger. So at this moment in time, you can't compare Mourinho to the likes of Umar, what he's doing at Arsenal, Sarri, what he's doing at Chelsea, Pep Guardiola, what he's been doing at Man City in the last couple of years. He's been there. You can't compare Mourinho to the same level as them now at Manchester United. You could, in the past, you could compare Mourinho to them managers. You could compare him, because Mourinho was always proven to be a winner, but he hasn't done it at Manchester United, as we all currently know. So, time to get him out of the club. If we do win on Sunday, we can, take a lot of credit. If we do win, we've beaten as feasted rivals. It's the biggest game in English football. and Liverpool have lost the first game of the season. So that's what credit we can take. As I said, and then hopefully then if we do win on Sunday, which I doubt was going to happen, but if we did win, it give us confidence then to go on a winning streak, which potentially Manchester United need to do. But I just can't see us winning on Sunday. Potentially, I just can't see it happening. You never know in football. You never know in football. Stranger things have happened. We beat them 4 times under Louis van Gaal. Don't forget. In the Premier League on the trot, and that wasn't a good era, was it? So you never know. But this is a different Liverpool side now. Klopp's put quite a bit of money into the team. They've got world class players. As I said, so we'll see what happens. So anyway, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider subscribe as always, guys, and take care. God bless. I'll see you all again on my next video. Bye.